So let me just see one more thing. So this is like the main view I showed you yesterday, where I check if like there's an active workout, and if there's an active workout, is it in transition of some sort, and then it'll show the workout setup view, which is where you enter in the ID. I have weird stuff here because apparently images don't work on macOS. I didn't know that, which is weird. But
Leah, where did you learn the bulk of your SwiftUI and Combine knowledge from?
I can send you some links. Um,
I mean, I've
there's
watched the WWDC videos, but they're so basic.
Yeah, they really are basic. But there's some really good bloggers
Watching,
I'd recommend, and I'll post those in the notes. Um, but then the other thing is like the combined stuff. I think I want to show you that because this is where I think it's like actually kind of cool. So if we go to the Heartwitch object, so there's a few properties I have access to here. The workout data, which is actually fairly simple. It just has the heart rate and the active energy burned. Does that make sense? And then the short ID, which is like a 5-character ID that you use when you want to link up the watch with your workout, so that it shows up in the browser. And then the full identifier, which you need when you want to post new data of your heart rate to the browser. What's your activity type? So like elliptical, running, hockey, whatever, right? And then the interface. So this is the interface to the actual HealthKit. Like in HealthKit's case, it's more or less the HealthKit store. Um, but like I said, it could be a mock of some sort. And this is where I have a result, optional result type. This is where we're talking about like in some cases you haven't requested authorization yet, so I need to know that. I also need to know if authorization was not granted. That's where an error comes in. And then I need to know if there is authorization, I need access to the health store. So that's why this is a tri-state property. Does that make sense? And then I'll update the view accordingly depending on what kind of access has been given. And then I need access if there's a workout going on, and then a busy state because, excuse me, um, on simulator, I don't know if you've noticed this, but it actually like takes a while to end the workout. So I want to track that. So there's a busy state here, which is just an enum saying if it's starting or ending, because I want to change the UI accordingly. So if it's starting, it just says like starting workout. It doesn't really say much. And then if it's ending the workout, it'll say ending workout. Because honestly, like they're never gonna see this in production. But I do want to track that. And then I'm right now I'm using this current error, but I actually want to separate my errors between like if there are health kit errors or if there are errors during a workout. So that's why this is like deprecated. But right now I just have an error, current error for now for whatever error I catch while you're using the app. But what I wanted to show was some of the stuff with Combine that I think is like actually really cool. So I want to be able, like, when somebody puts in the ID on the app, I want to make sure that every time they put the ID in, so this is what this code is here. When you put the ID in, the 5-character ID, I want to pull the full ID from the server. So what this does is, as every time the short ID changes, it will call the server and pull the full ID. And so I'm using that future type that I have access to in Combine. Um, and that is the one that uses like a closure. It gives you a thing called resolver, which is just basically a method you call on completion, and then you pass in the result um, when you get the full identifier back. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's a little. I really, you're getting like to like the middle level of Combine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think like once you do this, this is where it becomes cool, because then you see how you can like pipe, like connect data, so to speak. Because now, like every time the short ID changes, it automatically calls the server right away, and then it gets the full identifier, and then I can assign the full identifier to the full identifier property right away. And like, there's no need for me to do all this stupid code of like, okay, I got to do this, and then I do that, and then it'll update the view. No, like this is all done like automatically. That's what I really like about this. And like you'll notice here, I have to do it on the main thread, because anything that gets updated in the UI needs to be done on the main thread. So that's why that's there. But that's where like I actually really like Combine, is this part of it. Like here's the stuff where if you change, where is it? If you change is workout active, it would look to see whether there's an existing. I'm explaining the code. I'll understand if you don't get it. That's fine. But I just want to give you an idea of like how Combine works. So if you change is workout active, it checks to see if there's an active workout. And if there is an active workout and the person clicked the button, that's essentially what this is. If the person tapped end workout, then it ends the workout. That's what the sync does. And then here's the opposite, to where it checks if you've changed is workout active, and there is no active workout. Then it checks to see if you have access to like HealthKit. And then also it checks, gets whatever activity it is, and then it creates a tuple out of it. And then here's our tuple here of the HealthKit store and the activity. And then it goes in and it creates the workout, and then it starts the workout. And then this is the part about dealing with whether you change the state from start to end to change the busy state accordingly. So that way the UI changes automatically. And then here is the part where, assuming I have the full ID and I'm getting new data from HealthKit, then I send the data to the server. That's essentially what this part does. And then if there is an error, it assigns the error to the current error. I know this is like really complicated once you get like, especially the functional programming aspect of it, to where you're saying like, take data from here, put it into here, and do this with it. I think it's like the complicated part. Once you get over that, like this actually becomes really powerful in like updating your UI easily without having to worry about like drawing stuff. That's what I was talking about, like the imperative model as opposed to like this declarative reactive model, because you're not like going into view controllers and saying, change this text, draw this on the screen. Like all you have to do is update the data, and then the view just automatically updates. It reacts to the data as it updates. So I don't know if that makes any sense. I know this is like really complicated when you first get into it, but like understanding like this is like the bread and butter of Combine and like SwiftUI is this.
Like I said, I started, looking at Combine SwiftUI like this week, so it's early going. So I'm just
I would look up. So Donny Wals has a book. I had that episode with him.
I heard that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Joe Heck one is really good. He has some examples of like how to use Combine with like core location. Because like what I find the biggest pain in the butt is like a lot of these older Apple APIs use delegates, which is like kind of a mess. So like you have to figure out how to map a delegate to Combine. But once you get over that, it's actually pretty cool. So yeah, you have access to this repo, so you can take a look at it and bug me with any more questions about it. But the Combine stuff, I think, is really where it becomes like super powerful. And like, because what I can do now is like, as the HealthKit gives me all this like all these quantities, I can then just like automatically display it on the screen without needing to like do a lot,
Right.
Let's see if I have like the workout delegate that I've set up. Here's like the live workout. So this is the one that where I have the delegate, and then I had to create my own separate delegate because so failed with data can collected data finish with, right? But that's all implemented here in my Heartwitch object. Because there's like some funny business I've found with observed object and things that derive off of NS object. So that's like the tricky part. You might find that. So, any other questions before we finish up?
Oh, super helpful.
Yeah, like I said, I recommend the Joe Heck thing, and I recommend Donny Wals, and then I'll send you some like SwiftUI stuff as well, in Slack.
Right. All right, Leo. Gotta run. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Talk to you later.